Hey everyone, this is Stefan from the Moshpit on Sin. In our most ambitious interview yet, I had a group Skype chat with Jelena and Nesrine of alternative metal band Persona, calling us all the way from Tunisia. You will notice that I kept saying Persona instead of Persona, and I don't know why, so apologies to the band for that. This is our longest podcast to date, and the band kindly allowed us to play 3 songs from the new album in the online podcast. Enjoy!
Hi, this is Jelena from Persona.
And this is Nesrine from Persona as well.
and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin.
Persona is a female-fronted alternative metal band from Tunisia. Their style fuses modern metal sound with elements of rock, thrash, and heavy riffs with synth effects and classical orchestration. They recently released their debut album, Elusive Reflections, and talking to us via Skype from Tunis is 2 of their members, Jelena and Nesrine. Ladies, welcome to Moshpit.
Hi, Stefan. Thank you for inviting us.
Not a problem. Please introduce yourselves and what you do in the band. Nesrine, we'll start with you.
So I'm Nesrine Mahbouli. I'm the bass player of the band. I'm 21 years old.
So I'm Jelena, Jelena Dobric, if anybody's interested in my last name. And I'm the lead singer of Persona. I'm not Tunisian, I'm from Serbia and I moved to Tunisia recently, like a bit more than 4 years ago. And for the moment I'm installed here and that's about it.
Persona just released their debut album. So how do we get to this point? How did Persona start and get to the release of the record?
It actually started first 2012, approximately. First as a project between Malik, the lead guitarist, and me. And we were first composing some acoustic songs just for fun, just exploring, just trying to see where it all goes. And then we decided to form an actual band. We've changed many members, so like until now, and now this is working pretty well.
Nesrine, how'd you join the band?
Well, I joined the band 2 years ago, I guess. Is it 2 years ago?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
2014, I guess.
Did you have to audition?
No audition. It was Facebook.
How would you two describe Persona for new listeners?
Well, actually, Persona for me is really something original. I cannot consider it a symphonic metal band or an alternative metal band. It's something between both symphonic and alternative metal.
Would you agree with that, Jelena?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I can't put it in we've said like alternative metal because there are some elements of symphonic, there are some elements of, I don't know, power. Some people who did reviews, they even say that there are some elements of progressive. Some people hear influences. Yeah, thrash, because some people hear like Metallica and Megadeth, especially there are two songs, especially like Forgotten and the Monsters, and they have like a long middle instrumental part with the guitar solos, and those are completely like zero symphonic, zero, those like gothic, nothing. They're really, really heavy and energetic, and so like really thrash in a way. So somehow combination of everything, all of those.
I have a question about the metal scene in Tunisia. I guess we'll throw this to Nesrine because Nesrine, were you born in Tunisia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the metal scene like in Tunisia?
It's not quite wide, So it wasn't really easy for someone to consider himself or herself a metal musician in Tunisia, because it's not really considered as a necessary and principal kind of music.
Would you agree with that, Jelena?
Oh, I would. Nowadays, okay, wasn't born here, so I don't know how it was before. But now when I'm here, that this is definitely not the mainstream. First, like there are no festivals here, like metal festivals or any like rock festivals, at least. So nothing connected to that. No labels that would support this kind of music, anything like a bit, let's say, alternative. Then no recording studios where like that specify in some like rock or metal genres, so nothing. And when you turn on the radio or when you want to go out, there are like rare places where you can go and listen to the bands live who play some like rock or metal covers, or to the clubs where, or like bars where they actually, like the owners or whoever's in charge of music, DJs, you can have like a metal or rock playlist or something like that. It's rare. It exists, but it's not something that you would hear. And on the radio, for example, we have only, I think, one show now on one radio station, like once a week. That's the one where we were guests. That was like it's dedicated to metal and rock and something like that. Everything else is some kind of weird pop slash house slash techno, sometimes hip hop, like mixed with some Oriental influences, and it's like some kind of a really, I don't like it. So yeah.
I'm actually intrigued. So if we go back to Nesrine, like growing up, what did your friends like? I guess people you were in school with, did they like hip hop or electro or trance?
Yeah, hip hop, R&B. I don't know, pop music. Yeah, that's what I was surrounded with.
Awful music, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I don't really hate those kinds of music, but
yeah, because then you won't have any friends. I'm just kidding. that's what. Yeah, I know you feel like. When I was like 15 back in Melbourne, it seems like a lot of people my age started getting into rock and metal music, and then they started to grow out of it. And I was the only one who liked rock and roll. They also listen to stupid pop and hip hop music and go to stupid clubs.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Gross bands. Well, they're not bands. They're just like robots, you know. So of course, the debut album "Elusive Reflections" is out, and congratulations to you two for that. So how does it feel for it to finally
Thank
be
you.
out there?
Ooh, how does it feel?
It feels great, actually. It's great to achieve such a success. I can call this a success, since we don't have a label. The album was self-released, and even the money was self-prepared.
Oh yeah.
And everything was, we didn't have anything. We started from zero and we reached this, so it feels kind of really great.
Do you feel the same way, Jelena?
Yeah, totally. It's a huge achievement for us, and it gives us such how to say, we have a really big feeling of satisfaction, because we really came here totally on our own. Of course, there were many people, like especially our friends and like friends of friends, you know how it goes, that were involved, that helped us on the way and everything. But all the technical things, like including financing, producing, we did everything entirely on our own, because as I told you here, there's no support for that. So quite challenging, but we managed to get so far, and we're really, really happy. But this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, just like one first small step, and now we have to continue.
So what have the reactions been to Elusive Reflections?
The reactions? You mean the reactions of the fans? The
Yeah, well, the fans.
Of,
you guys are a new band, so I guess you have new fans, metal listeners, the like, and I guess reviews have been very positive too.
Yeah,
actually.
Go on. You go on. I'm just waiting.
All right. Actually, yeah, we had a pretty nice reaction from the fans, from the websites, from the even Facebook pages and reviews and everything. According to the fans, yeah.
Maybe, sorry, I'll continue. Anyway, yeah, I totally. I mean, I agree with her. That's how it's been. So we've been doing our promotion ourselves. Like, let's say I think we decided, okay, let's try to do it ourselves to see how it goes, if we can make it, also to learn, to learn on the way, to see how it all looks from the inside, without hiring a PR or a manager or whatever. And so we've been sending so many emails and everything, and it's like it all paid off, because we got so many good reviews and so many positive responses. And we also we have new fans, and with many of them we were in contact, personal contact, as much as we can manage. I mean, time-wise, like through Facebook or through email and everything. They're sending us so many kind messages and so much support, and that's been the best thing in all this. Like meeting so many wonderful people who really, really support us and really care about what we do. Like really believe in what we somehow,
Let's play my personal favorite song from the record, Monster, which has fantastic vocals and also mid-section. So, what can you tell us about this song? Nesrine, why don't you start?
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite songs as well. It's a pretty energetic song, with very various riffs and kind of singing as well.
Jelena, did you write the lyrics for this one?
Yeah, it was me.
What's it about?
Well, the whole inspiration was based on actually on personal experience. It was kind of, the experience of the whole band. We had, not to go into details because it's like irrelevant technically, but I've been especially quite disappointed in some people, and quite disappointed, like really, it was a huge deception for me in my mind about everything, because I thought some people were what they were supposed to be for me and to me, but it turned out not to be that way. And I was really shocked by the whole outcome of it. How much, so much negativity, so much hypocrisy, and just gave me the inspiration to. And the music was we were writing that music in the moment, and it was somehow very very intense and very maybe even aggressive in a way. So it kind of fit with the lyrics that I had in mind that I wanted to write. So it was a good match.
Intentions unclear, go so
Awesome. So can you two describe the writing and the recording process for the record? So like who in the band does what, and how does that process come together? Maybe Jelena, you can start us off with that.
Okay. I mean, everything starts first with me and Malik because we recorded actually all the guitars and all the vocals at home. It's like a home studio, but not. I mean, it's like really, really very humble home studio. And even we don't have a deaf room for like isolated room for vocals, so we had to like make and do with some kind of. Like it's really funny, like we had a pot with an umbrella and we put a lot of like drapes and like shades on top of it, so I would go under just to try to kill a bit the the reverb and sonorization of the room, and that turned out quite well. So that was basically recorded like that. As for vocals, we could go into some studio, but as I told you, there are no producers. There's nothing. We could just go to do it, and it was like time-wise, not really a good solution. As for this album, for keyboards, I either recorded or programmed most of it. As for the record, as for the drums, our drummer went and played electronic drums, and then later we just so they're programmed. He played them, but the sounds are programmed. We didn't record in a studio with an acoustic drum set. And as for the bass, I forgot what we did for the bass.
Well, Nesrine can tell us all about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, it wasn't even me who recorded. You recorded the whole bass with the old bass player.
Yeah. You're right. Some of it was
the old bass player.
Everything is actually recorded, even with the old bass player and with the I think even Malik, because he was out of the band at some point, so even Malik he continued to record some songs on the bass. We borrowed the bass from a friend, and yeah.
And Nesrine, some of your backing vocals are on the record, aren't they?
No.
Oh, no,
the backing vocals are all made by Jelena.
Yeah, that's all me, actually.
Oh, okay. So you're the one doing, on Monster, the bit of like kind of a deep guttural words, basically you yell like kind of near the end. That's you as well.
Yeah, that's me as well.
Oh, that's cool.
True.
That's awesome. So the name, sorry, please go on.
Sorry, go. No, I just want to say about the backing vocals.
Yeah.
We were planning. Want to do some. I want to include very much listening to backing vocals on on stage when we're doing things live. It would be it would be really nice, but we somehow haven't gotten to it yet with all this like album promotion period. Like giant one, we were completely stuck with that, so no thinking about it. But like as for creating and recording back vocals, I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things. So like I'm just like I want to do it myself.
Okay, well, the name Persona, who came up with that, and what does it mean in the context of the band?
Okay, I guess I must reply. I mean, it's me who has to respond to that because it was me.
Yeah.
Which shows the name. Then we can ask Nesrine what does she think about it, because I would say we never talked about it, and now we're using your like interview to talk about it. It's not fair. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we were looking. I mean, okay. Let's say you're like when you're. It's not easy to find a name for a band, and but. It was something I really wanted to feel that I can, relate to, something that actually means something to me, not something that's like, okay, just like a flashy and with some weird words, some weird combination of words, so it can be, I don't know, like commercial and easily memorized or something. Although Persona, it's like kind of, I mean, you can't, it's like a one word, so yeah. But I was actually inspired by the psychological concept of the psychiatrist, Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung, because he has this concept where like all people have like their personas. It's kind of your like you don't really pretend that you're somebody else, but you always wear some kind of a mask or a protection that keeps you not safe from the outside world in a way you would like you feel threatened, but helps you interact with other people until you get used to it, until you get so kind of a mask or a protection that helps you go through life. And something like that. Or also persona is also being used, as a word for actual mask. So when you're in a theater, so you actually act as a persona of somebody, and that's what we basically do, when we're on stage, because you have to set the mood for each song. You have to change in each song, so you can present the song in the right way. So you can't.
Considering the conditions of the stage,
Oh, that's another story. Yeah. But but that's it. So like it's kind of what you do. So you have to change your set, like your mindset, your emotional set, everything inside for each song, so you can give the real mood to that song. So that's what you do. Basically, you choose a different persona, you jump into it, and then you do it.
Now you also have a track on the album called Persona, which is essentially the band's title track. So is that song like extra special? Does it relate to the band?
Yeah, does it relate to the band? It relates to that song is also quite, it's quite personal for me. I like when we were writing the music, I really like the music. It's like, that song is like it's somehow my type of song in a way. But I think you like it, Tunisian, right?
Yes.
It's one of our favorite songs. Yes. Though I have no comment, I'm not objective anymore, because it's like basically me and Millie who wrote it. So yeah, and then that one is technically about that's a different type of persona, let's say, because I think we've all been there through life. I know I've been there. You think you want to, not that you want to be somebody else in a way, but you think you should act in a way because people told you no. You learn things through life. Your parents teach you something. Your teachers teach you something. So you pick up things, and you want to do things differently, but no, somebody else taught you that things should be done this way. But you still want to do them differently. But then you try to be a good girl or something. You try, okay, maybe they're right. They have more experience. So you try to do it their way. You don't do it your way. And then you keep doing it that way, and you get more and more detached from your real self, from what you really want to do and how you really want to act. And at some point, it just like hits you back, because that's not who you are, and you can't keep living your life like that. It's just like not possible. So I've been through there and did that, and that song is basically about that.
So we talked about the Tunisian metal scene, but I guess, Nesrine, you could probably answer this question better. Are you aware about the scenes in the greater Middle East, North Africa, or maybe even the entirety of Africa?
What? I didn't hear you, sorry.
So what can you, we said that the Tunisian metal scene was a bit limited, as you say, but do you know about the heavy metal scene in, say, the greater Middle East or North Africa, or even the entirety of the continent?
Well, as for North Africa, for Algeria and Morocco, and it's the same as in Tunisia. But as for the Middle East, I really have no idea.
Yeah. What about from your perspective? What do you think, Jelena?
So about it, no, I'm not. I agree with her. I don't know. I guess maybe in South Africa there's something a bit more interesting happening. But like Middle East, I have no idea.
That's cool. Well, I'm assuming Persona wants to break into international markets and tour. Can you tell us about those plans?
Yeah. So, well, for the moment, it's still up to us. We need to try to, contact as many festivals as possible, as many people, we know that might help us as possible, because we would really, really, really like to play somewhere abroad, to see, just to start gaining that experience. Finally.
Did you hear about Soundwave Festival in Australia?
No, actually, wait. I heard about it, but it's maybe, but it's too far.
Yeah, they cancelled it because the promoter got into some financial problems. This year it was going to be Disturbed, Bring Me the Horizon, but unfortunately, yeah, that's the end of Soundwave. So now there's very few heavy festivals in Australia. Unfortunately, you have to go to Europe for that.
Oh yeah, also for you, quite far.
Yeah.
If you want to go
everywhere else.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to break into international markets, would you have to maybe relocate to another country, maybe Europe?
What do you think, Nesrine?
I wouldn't mind personally.
Me neither. Maybe, but it would be, it would be tough with the whole band. I'm sure also
Yeah,
it would be.
Tough with the whole band because not everyone would accept the thing, and the jobs and the studies, and
Okay.
Yeah. It wouldn't be an easy project. But for example, I mean, you've probably, I don't know if you've heard, but like they're for the moment like the most successful and the most famous Tunisian band, Mirath. They play like symphonic progressive metal in a way with Oriental influences. Yeah, quite Oriental. And they've been quite successful in their career so far. They've been going around on tours with Symphony X. I think they even went. Now they're currently on a tour in Europe. I think with Symphony X. Went on tour. I think even with Dream Theater. So and some of them are actually Sandra. True.
Yeah.
But I think as for them, their members, some of them are actually they live in Tunisia. So when they're not on tour and they're not doing it, they're in Tunisia. But some of them are even in France and in Paris. So they're not all in the same place, and still they kind of make it work. So it's possible. Even that is possible.
Awesome. But surely you guys would personally would love to tour Australia eventually, right?
Of course, we would love to try. I mean, it's so hot. It's so for us. It's like at least to me, it's so it's exotic and it's really. It's a really. I would really love to come and visit and see how it all works. I think it's so different than any other place where I've ever been. Probably.
Yeah.
Would you like to come, Nesrine?
Of course, I would. It's actually one of my favorite destinations. It's on the list.
Oh, it's on the list.
It's on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do you mind? Okay, I have to just ask you one about Australia. My only fear at some point, I mean, I have some friends who moved and they live now in Australia and who live now in Australia. I'm sorry, and actually they told me the only problem was that depends on where you live, of course, but there are so many unusual little insects and big insects and little different animals which are they can be even dangerous or really weird and things that can come into your house. And is that true?
Spiders, yes, but I spray them with Mortine, which is our bug spray here. And well, look, these things are they're always exaggerated. You know how it is. We have a lot of moths, and sometimes the moths can be pretty big, but moths are pretty harmless.
Oh my god, I love moths.
I love moths too, so moths are not a problem. I even like spiders.
Spiders, I see them every now and then. But I mean, look, Australia's so big, but not that many people. I don't know what it's like living in the country areas, for example, or living in different states or territories. I mean, in Sydney, they have the funnel web, which is like one of the most poisonous, deadly spiders in the world. As for snakes, well, look, I've never seen a snake in the wild, so I can't say that you would have to worry about that. I mean, look, Americans keep saying stuff, everything in Australia is trying to kill. I'm just like, yeah, you guys got bears, so... yeah, true. I mean, I can run away from a snake pretty easily. I can't really compete with a bear, and plus I also have Donald Trump, so it's very dangerous there.
It is. You're right. No. That's what I wanted to check with somebody who who's actually Australian.
It's a great question. That's a great question. we laugh about it, but you're more likely to probably get burnt by the hot sun. Really, that's probably the most dangerous thing about Australia. It gets quite hot. Yes.
Oh, we have sun here too, very hot one, so it's okay. We're immune to that.
Oh yeah. Does it reach 40 degrees there in Tunisia?
Yeah.
45 plus? Yeah. Pretty painful. Let's keep talking about Australia. Why not? What are the first few things that come to your mind when you think about Australia? Nesrine, let's start with you.
Go. Sorry.
Forests. I love forests.
Forests. Oh, you mean
animals.
The bush. Bush. Yeah. You like kangaroos?
It's a pretty far place. I love far places. And the animals. I love animals.
Kangaroos and koalas and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Koalas.
And the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And the
No, actually, I'm not really a big fan of beaches. We have enough beaches in here.
Hey, you do.
Yeah, we live next. We were in the northern part, so we're close to the beach. I actually live very close to the beach.
Oh,
Yeah, we have.
Is it? Do you live in what's that tourist place that got attacked last year? Was it Seuss? I think it's called.
Yeah, Seuss.
So is
But
that,
we're
is
not
that-
there.
Oh, okay, you're not there. That's nowhere near Tunis.
No,
it's-
it's like more.
Oh, okay.
1 or 2 hours far from here, from where I live.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, look, in Australia it takes you like 12 hours to drive anywhere. Everything's so far away.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, what about you, Jelena? What do you think about when I say Australia? What do you think?
Cliche. I think about kangaroos, koalas, and nature. And like, fields, and I even think about sheep, but I think that's more New Zealand though. But I
Yes,
think I
New
picture.
Wow. Yeah, we make fun of New Zealand all the time for that.
But it's cute.
Yeah, sheep are cute, and of course sports. We dominate all the sports.
Sports, it's true. Oh my god, how did I forgot about that? Yeah, but it's true. It's sports, definitely. So yeah, I think about nature mostly. Nature and those two cute kinds of animals.
And what about
Kangaroos
like
and koalas.
Steve Owen, Hugh Jackman, Mad Max?
Oh, right. you see. But I think we're nature lovers, so we mostly focus on those.
So, do you two know anything about the Australian scene? Any bands you like from Australia?
Not sure. I have a go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me. I have a personal problem, which I don't know. Now I'm starting to fix it, but I hear a band, especially in the past. I hear a band, and I love the band, and I love the music, and I just listen to that band into the music. I somehow was never interested to know more about the band that I'm listening to. I love the music. Of course, I'm following. There's a new album of theirs, something, so I can, listen more, and that's it. But about the band's background, who are the members, what are they doing, where are they living, I was never that. It's really so. I might actually love some bands from Australia, but I don't know that they're from Australia. It's really embarrassing, and please don't put it in this interview. It's really embarrassing. It will be on the podcast anyway. So okay, I'm doomed.
What about you, Nesrine?
Sorry, yes.
What about you?
It's actually the same. I have the same problem as Jelena. I might be a very big fan of Australian bands, but I just don't know they are Australian.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I name a few?
Try.
Okay. Well,
Maybe.
First of all, here's the obvious one, the biggest one: AC/DC.
Wow.
Oh my god, they're Australian. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, actually. Wait, I knew that, but I buried it somewhere in the back of my mind. I don't know why. It sounds familiar now when you say it. Yes. Okay. Yeah, of course.
In excess.
That's okay. An okay one, but yeah, it was never my favorite, but good. Okay.
Midnight Oil.
Them I don't know, for example.
Crowded House.
That tells me something, but I'm not really sure if I know them.
Silverchair.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know them. Good. Okay, that one. I like them.
Do you know those bands? Nesrine, do you know those bands I mentioned?
Not all of them, but most of them sound really familiar.
Well, I'd say like one of the biggest bands is those
Except
are kind of.
for CDC, of course.
Oh yes, of course. The biggest bands probably right now would be maybe Parkway Drive, North Lane.
Parkway Drive, yeah. I know that band, yeah.
Me too. I've heard, but no, it wasn't really. I didn't listen.
Yeah, a lot of bands are actually more popular like internationally than actually in their home country. So you find out that a lot of Australian bands get big overseas, but then no one in Australia cares. That seems to be happening quite a bit. Or they get big in Indonesia, because Indonesia really loves metal. Have you two considered playing in Indonesia? They really love metal.
Indonesia, maybe. I mean, we've been considering some weird, let's say, markets, as maybe Indonesia, maybe even Japan, because I know they're
Yes.
so much
I've heard that as well,
into
yes.
metal and everything. So yeah, Indonesia sounds like a good idea. But I don't know how do we get there, but we will see.
Yes, it will happen. How did you two get into music? Nesrine, we'll start with you. How did you get into music?
Well, my father is a musician as well, so it was kind of easy to get into music, you know. He's a guitar player as well, and a singer. So it was somehow him who got me into music, and then I discovered rock and metal. And he's not a fan of metal. He's a rock fan, but not a metal fan. So I kind of discovered metal by myself, and then I started playing bass by myself as well. And I'm also a singer, so yeah, I started singing by myself as well. That's it. It was friends as well.
And what about yourself, Jelena?
Me, been also it's similar as Nesrine. Actually, my father is a musician, and he also in Serbia we have a culture. We have music schools everywhere. In a way, they're even like a state music schools, you know. So it's really common that once you start, if you have any preferences towards music, if you really like, if a child likes to sing or play something, you just put him in, you know, he starts the normal school and you put him in music school with it. So my father went through all the schooling like that. He even finished then later he was even a music teacher. So with him, I discovered everything since I was like a little girl. We had a piano at home and everything. Then I went through many years of schooling. I'm actually, my formation is I'm a classical pianist, so I have master degree in classical in piano. But I've done a lot of singing too, so I really love that my whole life, and that's it. So I've been actually playing piano and singing my whole life. It was like a normal thing for me. It's been following me since I was a little girl. So this was inevitable now, the result of what's happening.
Now, I guess this probably relates to you more, Nesrine, than Jelena, because Jelena comes from Serbia, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that Tunisia's official language is Arabic, and French is widely understood, and then many Tunisians also know English and Italian, apparently, and some Berber languages, if I'm saying that right. But I'm just curious, what languages do you two know? So, Nesrine, we'll start with you. What languages do you know?
Tunisian and Arabic, because, you know, they're not really the same. And, of course, French, a bit of English, and Spanish, and I recently started learning Italian, you know, because my boyfriend is Italian, so I feel really excited to learn the language. He's teaching me.
Oh, that's a lot of languages.
Yeah.
Wow. So
really fun.
You're fluent at Spanish, French, English, Tunisian, and Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I didn't know you were fluent in Spanish.
No.
So
I'm not fluent in Spanish. No, I can understand it, but I cannot really form a whole phrase.
What the?
Yeah, but I can understand if you talk to me in Spanish, I can understand some quantity of words, but not everything.
Oh jeez. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about this before, Jelena, but maybe just tell our listeners what languages you speak as well.
Yeah. So Serbian as my native tongue, English, French, and as Nesrine, I can understand some Spanish, but I would really like to work on it because I love Spanish, and I know some like basics of Italian, but that's it.
You two got any tips for me to learn another language? I want to learn French and Japanese, but I never really start.
If you want to learn Japanese, you should watch animes and read so I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like animes. I watch from time to time, so I suggest you that. Yeah.
I did in school.
So
for
cartoons.
A bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about French? Like, how can I become fluent at French? Well, what's your how do you practice learning a language? Because you know, like both of you seem to know like 4 or 5 languages, when most people who live in Australia, who are born here, 90% of them only know English.
Well, as for us, the Tunisians, we study French and English since the primary school, so it was really easy for us to learn it, to learn them, and. It was the movies and the series and the games and, you know, everything.
So I guess it's necessary for you two to do your band mostly in English because international appeal. You wouldn't. Is there any chance of a personal song being released in Arabic or French anytime soon?
No. That was like again, no, it's never. No, French is not. I love French. I mean, since I learned it, hasn't been a long time, but I like French. And I really enjoy speaking French. It's a really beautiful language. But it's weird for singing. It's especially weird for the type of music that we play. It's too soft. It's cheesy in a way. When you sing in French, it's cheesy. So not a really good language to sing on. And Arabic, I would have to study a lot of it in order to be able to sing it fluently. And no time. Very complex.
So you both were very fluent in English well before the band started.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just I don't know, because almost no bands sing in any other language but English, and from many different countries. So they can't all be fluent in English. I'm sure much of them had to learn English. So I find it interesting, just trying to learn in a tongue that's not yours. You know what I mean? I imagine that'd be hard.
Yeah.
But for you two, you already know English very well, so.
I think both of us were probably we have language persons, like you like language people who like languages, and it's like easy for them to pick up, and we find it interesting and challenging to just learn new languages. I have a plan in my life. I want to learn at least 3 new languages fluently, at least.
Wow.
So English is so, I don't know, it's so
It's easy.
It's
really?
easy, but not in a stupid way. Like it's easy. It's like so convenient and practical, and I don't know.
Well, it is definitely practical, because considering 90% of the internet seems to be in English. But
Yeah.
So if I go to Tunis tomorrow, most people will be able to understand English, French, and Arabic.
Most of all, Arabic and French, then English.
Then
Okay.
English, maybe if you're lucky, on the street.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Probably, if you're lucky.
Okay, but I thought, like, as you said, Nesrine, that you've been learning since primary school, so most of them should be pretty good at English.
Not really.
It's not the.
So you learned more
yeah,
yourself then.
Most of my old schoolmates didn't even like the language itself, so they didn't even take care of it or anything.
But like you yourself, need English to get international appeal for yourself, I suppose.
I personally love the language, and even England, I love it.
Yes.
As for most of the Tunisians, no, not really.
Mm.
As Jelena said, if you're lucky, yeah, they might understand.
I am surprised that you guys enjoy the English language, considering it has all these rules that make absolutely no sense when you think about it. Like all these rules that are there that have then broken, blah blah blah. But whatever works for you guys.
No, we're fine with it. Oh, try French. Good luck. We can try learning French first, maybe before. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I would recommend you start with French, then with Japanese, because I don't know. When I think about Japanese, it's like there's nothing to cling to. There's nothing that I can connect to my previous knowledge of anything. So in French, for example, there's so many illogical and ridiculous rules that are completely. You can't understand it all. You just learn them, and that's it. So English is like really, really comfortable comparing to that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's comfortable.
Huh. Well, actually, I did Japanese for a couple of years in school, so I actually kind of grasp it already. But anyway, next song is your single "Blinded." So what can you tell us about "Blinded"?
Nesrine.
Well, it's one of my favorite songs as well, and it talks about. Can you talk, Jelena? Because it really was.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know. I was just being sorry. I was being mean because I was just curious to see what she's going to say, because she got even.
You weren't going to kick her out of the band. She said something bad. Was this a test for Nesrine?
Because it's not. I mean, it's it's us, and I wrote the lyrics and the tune and everything, and I wrote the song with Malik actually. So yeah, I can tell you more about it technically. So it started actually as an acoustic song It was completely acoustic, and it was actually the first song that Melik and I composed together in the sense of, okay, when we started kind of getting grip of our maybe future style, and that process of like exploring and experimenting and all that. So that was the first song that we composed together, and the lyrics are not really, how to say, this is just how the music inspired me. The music set the mood, and I was in the mood, and I wrote the lyrics of that way, which is they're about, let's say, a person who's been it's been like after a bad relationship, a person who was actually now understanding that the whole time it's like it's been just like abusive and towards her. And like she can't believe that she's been so naive and trusted and that she couldn't see things clearly. But it's not based on on her, how to say. Unfortunately, it's not commercial of me to say this, but it hasn't been based on any like real event or anything. It's just like the music that inspired me and that set the mood, and then I just wrote the lyrics like that.
Locked in my mind.
Nesrine, did you have fun shooting that music video?
Of course. And it was very cold, and I had to wear something not really warm.
Oh my god,
but
yeah,
it was
we
fun.
were freezing.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was fun. I slept right after right after the shooting. Yeah.
Was the concept related to the lyrics, or was it just it didn't none of that mattered? It was just a video you shot, or was there like some idea there?
There was, I mean, later we realized, okay, we should add some kind of like a mini scenario, let's say, mini something to the shots of the actual band playing. So it was like, let's say it was a metaphor because somebody is blinded and feels, feels restricted and tied, and you can't break off, and you just can't release yourself from the situation. So that's what our friend. Hella was actually doing in the video. Those are the shots of the girl with the with blindfolded girl and everything. So it is related to the lyrics, but it's like metaphor. It's a metaphor. So.
Nesrine, starting with you, who are your favorite bands, your influences, and all that?
Well, I listen to symphonic metal most of all, so my favorite band is Nightwish. Yeah, Nightwish, Amberian Dawn, Xandria, I don't know what else, maybe After Forever. Yeah.
So they
Gamma Ray, yeah.
They all influence your sound, as well. I guess.
What else? Heavy metal, some Dio.
Dio?
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Love Dio. Jelena, what about you?
Oh my god, now that you said Dio, before I forget, I have to say that I'm a huge fan, and I haven't listened to him for a while. I'm a huge fan of Bruce Dickinson. He's like he's just magnificent. So that's like one of the outside of symphonic, and that's one of the rare, let's say, like some kind of heavy metal that I like and I listen to. But his solo works, Iron Maiden, like icons and everything, but not all of it my thing. So Bruce, his solo works. But I was more of a power progressive metal fan my whole life. So that would be, of course, Dream Theater. I kind of started with that. That's I think Camelot. I love Camelot. Then I love Pain of Salvation, progressive metal band. I have to always say that. My current favorite band is Leprous.
Oh,
also
really?
Progressive metal.
Yeah, we interviewed them the other week. You should go on our YouTube channel, check that out.
Oh my god, I will. Oh my god. I love Lepers. I discovered them totally by chance, and I was hooked like right away. For like female fronted metal bands, I'm not a very big fan of like opera mixed with metal. Not opera vocals mixed with metal. Not really my thing.
Oh.
But I love Flor Jansen. She's amazing. So I like her solo works with Revamp and also like her in After Forever. But she's a really good performer. Besides, I like Delane. I love one of their albums, April Rain. I like Delane. I like Lacuna Coil, especially their earlier works. And besides that, I do like some jazz on the side, and some singers like Melody Gardot. I don't know if you pronounce her name correctly, or Gretchen Parlato, or even Kurt Elling, something like that. Yeah.
And I showed you before, Heaven the Axe, your new favorite band from Melbourne.
Yes, they might become my new favorite band. I like it. I need to hear more. Yes. Thank you for that. I like discovering new things. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So, I guess Nesrine could probably answer this question a bit more. I'm a bit of a journalist. I studied journalism, so I'm kind of into this kind of stuff. So, needless to say, it's been a bit of an eventful 5 years or so for your country, which, started the whole Arab Spring thing and led to civil wars and revolutions in neighboring countries, such as Libya, who are basically knocking on your door right now, Egypt, and of course, your own Tunisia seems to be one of the very few real success stories in terms of democracy. So did these events, as well as the terrorist attacks that occurred in like Sousse and stuff last year, like affect how you approached around the band's music, or the writing, or even like the marketing or touring or that kind of stuff?
Well, it wasn't easy at first. I mean, when the Arab Spring first started, so everyone was like scared and frightened and avoided going out and everything. But then it got forgotten, and it wasn't successful, but it wasn't really bad. So we can say that it didn't hurt the music industry or anything.
And Jelena, I believe you moved just in time for democracy in Tunisia. So
Oh yeah.
so how does it feel to party in the new Tunisia?
I'm okay. I mean, I don't know how it was before. I mean, I've met so many people, like random people who are like, it was so much better before the revolution, but it can't be better. I mean, and every change is difficult, and it takes time for it to settle and to actually you feel some real benefits of it. Everything is, everything is changing from its roots, so it needs to be, it has to be
slow.
painful, it has to be difficult, it's slow, it's just like a slow process. So I'm okay. I mean, I don't feel here, especially I mean where we live and anything, I really don't feel unsafe, I don't feel threatened, basically it's I live my normal life as I would live it anywhere else. I mean, you try not to stay that late at night alone in the street, I mean, which you would try to avoid everywhere, I guess. But yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. Luckily, it's okay to live here. And what I feel here as a foreigner, Tunisian people, I don't feel any kind of extremism, not in a terroristic sense, but like I don't feel people here that are extreme. I don't think they're like violent. They like to fight. They like to, make some kind of war and I think they're just like they want to enjoy their lives. They want to live their normal, peaceful life and get along with people. Of course, they get a bit angry sometimes, as everyone does. But it's not a country, and I hope it stays that way. It's not a country that's that's going to like fight and with with a lot of extreme things and war and blood. I really don't feel that would happen here. I hope I'm right.
Okay, so I guess basically the band would still be here if the Arab Spring, like if the Tunisian Revolution happened or not, and it didn't really change the music at all in terms of how you approached the writing or anything.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Well.
Yeah, she didn't hear it.
So basically, it didn't really change how you approach the music at all, in terms of writing, anything like that?
No. No, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt that. You can stay at home safe.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen to you.
The band would still be there if the revolution hadn't happened?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you, Jelena, you still came, if the revolution hadn't happened, you still would have come to Tunisia?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the reason I came. I mean, I didn't come because now things are going to be just like it happened. So and it happened after the revolution. So I was actually here visiting during the very days of revolution. So I was here while the whole dramatic event was taking place. And I mean, it didn't scare me or whatever. It's just. It's okay. It didn't have it was normal for me, so
yeah. Look, it's
no big deal.
It's interesting about the safety. I mean, I'll post you this link.
Yeah, I will. Just what I'm doing now.
Smart. It's basically the level of advice for Tunisia, for the Australians. And
let me see the level.
So the level is overall the level is 3 out of 4, which is quite dangerous according to it. So basically, so you can see the colors. Green would be completely safe, normal levels of precaution. Yellow would be take caution. Orange would be reconsider, you need to travel, and red is do not travel. So.
Oh my God! I will have to. I'm still opening. The internet is quite slow. So
okay.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Nesrine?
Yeah, it's quite slow. It's quite slow for me as well.
Okay. Maybe.
Okay, it opened now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's orange. up is and down in the I see like the south is like red. Do not travel, do not reconsider your need to travel. I see. Well, I don't know what to, maybe I'm not the, maybe I'm, I mean, this is how I'm telling you how we live our lives, but maybe, I don't think it's that dangerous, but you could, if you needed to come here, I mean, and you stay, especially up where we are now, very, very, very north up, I think you'd be perfectly okay. Perfect. Okay. On this in the south and down next to like close to the borders, I'm not sure. Maybe there's something that might happen, but normally, So come, feel free to come and visit us.
Yeah. Look. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to. Like, I've been fascinated by Tunisia since the whole revolution happened. You guys were a bit overshadowed by Egypt because everybody knows Egypt, but I know Tunisia is where it started. I know where you started, yeah. Nesrine, would you ever go on like a joy walk near the Libyan border? Would that be a fun thing to do, or not? No.
No.
You don't think I should do that?
No, it will be. I don't know. It will be really scary. Yeah.
Can you see the side? What do you think of it?
threatening.
Yeah. What do you think of the side there? Tunisia, orange. Reconsider you need to travel. Do not travel. What do you think of that?
It's I don't know. It feels so personal. Yeah, it feels weird knowing that according to other people and other countries, you're in a very dangerous place. So, yeah, you can imagine how it feels like.
Now, we are celebrating International Women's Day coming soon. So, Nesrine, we'll start with you. What does this day mean for you?
Well, it means, what can I say? Well, it's a pretty important day, you know. As you can imagine and know, of course, and you heard about, women are not really considered as free as possible in here, in North Africa, and maybe the whole Africa and all.
How about you, Jelena?
It's important, I guess. I mean, because that's a day when I think everybody, like entire planet's population, somehow pays more attention to, like, pay some kind of respect to women, to like our gender, to all what we are and who we are in a way, so that's kind of nice and it's beautiful. But I don't even mean that in the sense of like equality. Okay, now we can do everything, you know, like as like men can do, and it's just like appreciating the woman, remembering to appreciate a woman for what she is and who she is. That's kind of sweet.
Jelena, do you have a message for the women in the world who want to rock or play in a metal band, punk band?
Oh, do I have a... Wait, sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Do you have a message for the women in the world who want to play in a rock or a punk or a metal band?
Go for it.
Exactly. Go for it. Just whatever you want to do in life, go for it. Especially if you want to play in a rock band or a metal band or a punk band, do it. It's a special energy. It's a special thing to have a band, to be able to play in a group of people, to exchange energy with them, to create something nice with them. So definitely go for it. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's a clip of the band playing with Bumblefoot, who has performed with Lita Ford, Guns N' Roses, and others. So what was that experience like?
Okay, there. Unfortunately, Nesrine wasn't with us yet when that happened.
But I was there watching.
You were there?
I was there.
Oh, I didn't know that. The experience was wonderful, like super cool, because Bumblefoot, I mean Ron, is a really, really nice person, like down to earth, very calm, very posed, very like a very, very, very nice person who gives you support, who gives you good advice, who gives you just like no superstar anything about him. He's really like a really amazing person to know. And he helped us a lot also with advice. I occasionally also contact him on Facebook to ask him about this or that or something that we don't know. He's always ready to help, always ready to reply. As no matter as much, he has a lot of work with all music that he does. So that was quite a nice experience to play with such an experienced musician on stage. It was really nice.
So do many like international acts come to Tunisia for concerts?
Well, not at the moment. There was a group of people at some point trying to organize that and organizing that from time to time, but nothing interesting is happening at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, there.
So you two haven't really been able to have the opportunity to see some of your favorite bands live?
No.
No.
Really?
I never got out of Tunisia, actually.
Oh, okay. So you've never left Tunisia?
Yeah, I never left it.
Well, you come to Melbourne and there'll be awesome bands playing every weekend. Rock capital of Australia. So there's plenty.
Yeah, we know. We follow things on Facebook. There's everything happening everywhere except here.
But you've been overseas, Jelena, I believe, not just Serbia, but other places. I think you've seen some shows, have you?
Yeah, I've seen. But like at some point, I got stuck with the thing that I enjoyed most was a Dream Theater in Bulgaria. But it's been like, I don't know, more than 10 years ago, I think, when I went to see them. And but usually it was my student days, and I didn't have that wasn't the time when many bands were coming to Serbia, to Belgrade, to give concerts. It was still a bit shaky during 2001, 2, 3, something like that. And after that, I started, I don't know, like I never had enough money to go abroad for festivals or for concerts. And then at some point I started working, so then I could afford it, but I didn't have time to go abroad. Then the bands started coming a bit. So I've seen, I think, Metallica. Went to White Snake, just because they came. I'm not really that much into their music, but it was a fun experience. I forgot what I've seen in Belgrade, but I know that there were many bands coming. And then I moved to Tunisia since there's always like more than 4 years ago, almost 5. So yeah, since then I just can't manage to travel that much for festivals because I also work here, and like usually when I travel I go to Serbia to see my family, and so yeah.
So why'd you move to Tunisia? I'm curious.
Me, okay, I actually moved here for personal reasons. It was because of Melik. We met in Serbia, but then and later we got married, so I moved to Tunisia.
Oh, that's lovely. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Persona's album I almost said it wrong. Persona's debut album, Elusive Reflections, is out now on nearly every single format. And they have social medias and stuff. Jelena, why don't you tell us what those websites are?
Websites, okay, so of course you can always find all the info on our Facebook page. And you can, of course, buy whatever you like, our t-shirts and CDs and digital copies through Bandcamp. But it's always available on Spotify, iTunes.
There's a YouTube stream as well.
What else? We have it on YouTube streaming as well. Of course, I keep forgetting. There's so many of those, so I can't really. We have Reverb Nation profile, also everything's updated there too. Amazon Music, all of the more Deezer.
Yeah, and Nesrine, I think I found your SoundCloud account. So, well, what do you do on there?
I make vocal covers of some Celtic songs, gay movies, and maybe symphonic metal sometimes. Yeah.
When I come to Tunisia eventually, which I will, hopefully, where should I visit?
You should visit the north, most of all.
Yes.
Maybe Hammamet, maybe Benzart, maybe also the island Jerba. It's a very lovely island, which I never was there yet.
I went
yeah.
there. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I didn't go there yet. It's a very lovely place. It's actually the most beautiful one.
Yeah, I guess we'll finish it there. Thanks so much, Nesrine and Jelena, for
Thanks.
being on the Moshpit, and I can't wait for
Thank you,
all.
Stefan.
No problem. I can't wait for all our Melbourne fans and all our fans around Australia to listen to you guys. That's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely like another continent and completely new like audience and everything. I hope they enjoyed.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, look, I guess I just got to send you guys some more cool Australian bands to listen to.
Yes,
What do you guys
please. Yes,
think?
please.
Yeah, please do it.
Have a good afternoon, you two.
Thank you. To have a good night.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye. Persona's debut album, Elusive Reflections, is out now on almost every format. Check out their music video for Blinded on YouTube. Thanks again to Nesrine and Jelena. Here's another song off the album. It's called Forgotten.